I didn't find out he had two Instagram accounts by snooping. I found out because he forgot which life he was living and handed me the wrong phone. He'd spent months telling me we had to keep things private, that he was protecting us, that the world was too judgmental. But the truth was simpler. He wasn't protecting us. He was hiding me. And the most brutal part? He was so good at it that I started helping him hide me from myself. My name is Sophie Lane. I was 29 when this happened. And if you've ever been with someone who makes you feel like you're asking for too much when you're really just asking for basic respect, then you're going to understand every second of this. Because it didn't start as a red flag. It started as a vibe. A he's private vibe. A he's been through a lot vibe. A he's different from the loud guys vibe. And then it turned into a trap. Slowly, quietly, one compromise at a time. I met him at a friend's birthday dinner, one of those crowded restaurants where the music is too loud and the lighting makes everyone look better than they should. His name was Camden Ross. He wasn't the loudest guy at the table. He didn't fight for attention. He didn't tell stories over people. He just listened. And when he spoke, it felt like he was talking to you, not at you. That's rare, especially when you've been dating long enough to see how many people are performing instead of connecting. We started seeing each other the next week, and it was good. Too good. He showed up. He remembered things I said. He asked questions. He didn't do that half-present, half-distracted thing. He planned dates like he wanted to impress me, not trap me. And the chemistry? It wasn't just physical. It was that rare kind where you feel like you're building a private language with someone. Then, right around week 3, he said it. Not in a dramatic way, in a casual way, like it was obvious. Hey, I'm not really big on social media. I shrugged. That's fine. He smiled like I passed a test. He keeps things private, he added. It keeps the noise out. Noise. That word made it sound healthy, like boundaries, like maturity. And if you've ever dated someone who looks emotionally stable, you want to believe them. So I didn't think twice when he asked me to not post photos. Then it became, don't tag me. Then, let's not follow each other. And I know how that sounds. I know exactly how that sounds. But he had a reason for everything. He said he had an ex who stalked his life. He said he'd had crazy drama before. He said he was protecting what we had. And the thing that makes manipulation work isn't lies. It's plausible lies. Lies that sound like something that could be true. He'd look me in the eyes and say, I'm not hiding you. I'm protecting us. And I believed him because I wanted to. Because in real life, people don't announce they're lying. They wrap it in something that sounds like love. At first, the hiding didn't feel like hiding. It felt like intimacy, like we had something just ours. But then little moments started piling up, moments that didn't match. He wouldn't hold my hand in certain places. Not always, just sometimes. If we walked into a bar and he saw someone he knew, he'd subtly shift. Not away like he didn't like me, more like he didn't want to be seen with me. If his phone buzzed, he'd flip it face down. If I walked near him when he was texting, he'd lock the screen too fast. I told myself I was overthinking, because that's what you do when you're trying to keep the peace inside your own chest. Then one night, we're lying on my couch watching some dumb show neither of us cares about, and his phone rings. He glances at it, and his body changes, just a fraction. Not panic, control. He doesn't answer, he silences it. I ask casually, everything okay? He smiles without looking at me. Yeah, just family stuff. Family stuff. Another phrase that sounds normal, but something in my gut started whispering. So later that night, when he falls asleep, I do what I promised myself I would never do again. I let anxiety drive. I don't go through his phone, but I do something worse. I go through my own memory. I replay Everything. The small moments, the excuses, the privacy rules that only applied to one person, me. And that's when I realized I didn't feel loved, I felt managed. A week later, the first real crack happened. We were supposed to meet for dinner, and he texted, "Can we do tomorrow? Work blew up." Annoying, but fine. Then tomorrow came, and he texted, "Running late, 30 minutes." Then, "Actually, can we rain check? I'm exhausted." I tried not to make it a thing, but the next day I saw a story from a mutual acquaintance, someone I barely knew but followed because internet, a dim photo in a restaurant, a table, a hand holding a drink, and in the corner of the frame was Camden. Not facing the camera, but I knew his posture, his watch, the way he sat. He was at dinner, not with coworkers, with someone. I stared at the story until it disappeared. Then I stared at my own reflection, like I was trying to decide if I was going to become the kind of woman who accepts crumbs. When he called later, I kept my voice calm. "How was work last night?" He didn't even hesitate. Brutal. I went home and passed out. He said it like it was nothing, like lying was a reflex. I felt my throat tighten. I didn't accuse him, not yet. I just said, "That's crazy, because I think I saw you at Harbor Room." A pause. Tiny, but real. Then he laughed. "Oh, yeah, I stopped by for a bit. Quick thing. Didn't want to get into it. It was complicated." Complicated. Another word that makes you feel like you don't have the full context, so you shouldn't judge. I let it go. And that's the part I hate admitting. I let it go because I wasn't ready to admit what it meant. If you admit it, you have to act. And acting means losing the person you're still addicted to. Then came the rule that changed everything. We were at his place for the first time in weeks. He lived in a clean apartment that looked like no one had ever had a messy emotion there. He kissed me like he missed me. Then, right after, like flipping a switch, he said, "Hey, just so you know, my building is kind of social." I smiled. "Okay." He rubbed the back of his neck. "I don't want people in my business, so if we run into anyone, just be cool. Be cool." That phrase is always poison because be cool never means be cool. It means don't ask questions that expose me. I looked at him. Be cool like what? He gave me a quick smile like he was asking for something small. Just maybe don't act like we're together. And I swear, something inside me went silent because that wasn't privacy. That was denial. I didn't fight him in that moment. I should have, but I didn't. I told myself, maybe he's anxious, maybe he's weird about gossip, maybe it's temporary. I became the kind of woman who negotiates her own dignity in real time, and he watched me do it and didn't stop me. A few days later, the Instagram thing happened. We were at my place. He was in the kitchen making coffee. His phone was on the counter. He got a notification and called out, "Can you check that? My hands are full." I walked over and glanced down. Instagram. A message. From a name I didn't recognize. And I know I should have handed it back and said nothing, but my body moved before my pride could stop it, because the notification banner showed the first line. "Babe, are we still on for your mom's on Saturday?" Babe, your mom, Saturday. My stomach dropped. I stared at the screen like it might change. Then, without thinking, I tapped the notification. And it opened. Not to his Instagram, to an Instagram I had never seen before. Different username, different profile picture, different feed. It wasn't empty. It wasn't new. It was curated, a clean, polished life. Photos of him at brunch, him at a wedding, him hiking, him with friends. And then I saw it. A photo of Camden, smiling, arm around a woman with perfect hair and bright teeth and the kind of confidence that comes from not being a secret. Caption, "Lucky to do life with you." My mouth went dry. The worst part wasn't that the account existed. The worst part was the realization that he wasn't hiding from social media. He was hiding from me. I heard him behind me. "Who's texting?" I turned slowly, holding the phone like it was evidence in a trial. "Who is she?" He blinked once. Then he did the thing people like him do when they get caught. He went calm. Not angry, not scared. Calm. "Give me my phone," he said gently. I didn't. "Who is she, Camden?" He took a breath, like I was exhausting him. "Sophie, you're jumping." Jumping. That word is gaslighting with a friendly face. I said, "Her message says babe. Your feed says do life with you. So tell me." He stared at me for a long second. Then he said it. "She's my ex." Ex. The easiest lie, the default lie, the lie that buys time. I laughed, not because it was funny, because my body didn't know what else to do. "Your ex calls you babe and has dinner with your mom?" He rubbed his forehead like I was making this hard. "It's complicated. We're in the middle of things." Middle of things. Translation: I'm not leaving. I felt heat rise up my neck. "So you're still with her?" "No," he said quickly. "Not like that." Not like that. Another phrase that means nothing. I asked the simplest question on earth. "Are you single?" And he didn't answer immediately. That pause told me everything. I grabbed my keys. He stepped in front of the door. "Sophie, don't do this." I looked at him. "I'm already doing it," I said. "I've been doing it for months." He tried one last move. He softened his voice. "I didn't want to lose you." And that's when I realized something terrifying. He wasn't panicking because he loved me. He was panicking because he was losing control. I walked out. I got in my car, and I sat there, shaking, not because I missed him, because I couldn't believe how long I'd let someone minimize me without ever raising his voice. That night, I did what every human does when they're heartbroken and furious. I became a detective. I found the account again. I looked through the tags, the comments, the friends, and I found another account, because of course I did. His other account, the one I didn't know about, the one that was private. And when I requested it, because at that point I had nothing left to lose, it accepted within minutes, like he'd been expecting it. That account was different. No couple photos, no family, no lucky to do life with you, just him, gym, food, business quotes, a clean personal brand. And in the highlights, a folder called Trips. And in the trips, photos I recognized, places we'd been together, only cropped. Like I didn't exist. Like he'd cut me out of the frame and told the world he was alone. I felt sick because it wasn't just cheating, it was erasure. He hadn't just lied, he had edited reality. And that's when the second half of the truth landed. He didn't have one Instagram and one secret life. He had two Instagrams because he had two versions of himself. One for the woman at home, one for me. And neither one was the real him. The next day, he texted like nothing happened. "Can we talk?" No apology, no accountability. Just, "Can we talk?" As if talk was a reset button. I didn't respond. Then he called. Then he left a voicemail. "Sophie, you're misunderstanding everything. I can explain." Explain. That word is dangerous too, because explain doesn't mean truth. It means, I'm about to try to make you doubt yourself. I didn't want an explanation. I wanted an answer. So I did the hardest thing. I reached out to the woman. Her name was Rachel. I didn't write an angry message. I wrote a clean one. "Hi, I'm sorry to reach out like this. I need to confirm something. Are you in a relationship with Camden Ross? My finger hovered for a full minute before I hit send. Because once you send it, you can't unknow what comes next. She responded within 5 minutes. Who are you? My stomach turned. I typed, I was dating him. He told me he was single. And then I waited. Her next message came slower, and it was only 3 words. He proposed to me. Proposed. My chest went cold. I stared at that message like it was written in another language. Then she added, 2 months ago. 2 months ago, which meant he was telling her forever while telling me privacy. I asked, does he live with you? She replied, not officially, but he's here most nights. Most nights. Most nights means he's yours, I'm the hobby. Rachel sent a screenshot, a photo of a ring on her hand, his hand holding hers, caption from his main account, my forever. I felt something inside me drop. Not sadness, finality, because now there was no story he could tell that would make this okay. And that's when Rachel said something that made my blood run cold all over again. There's more, she typed. His mom thinks you're a coworker. Coworker. I didn't even laugh. I couldn't because it was so specific, so rehearsed, so planned. Rachel and I talked for an hour, not as enemies, as two women realizing we'd been dating the same man from two different angles. She told me he had rules with her, too. He didn't post her unless it looked perfect. He hated drama. He called her emotional when she asked questions. And he had told her the same line he told me, I'm protecting us. It's wild how a liar reuses the same sentences like they're copy pasting life. Then Rachel said the sentence that made everything make sense. He told me you were obsessed with him. I froze. What? She sent another screenshot, a text from Camden. Some girl from work is being weird. Don't worry about it. She's obsessed. So he had been building a narrative about me while dating me. He was pre-framing me as the crazy one in case I ever showed up. That's how calculated it was. He didn't just have 2 accounts. He had a system for lying, a system for controlling, a system for making sure he always looked like the calm, reasonable guy while the women in his life looked unstable. That night, Rachel and I did something I'm not proud of, but I don't regret. We compared notes, dates, trips, lies, screenshots, and the pattern was so clear it almost felt stupid. He would tell me he was traveling for work when he was with her family. He would tell her he was networking when he was with me. He didn't cheat impulsively, he cheated professionally. Then the final twist hit. Rachel told me Camden had insisted on privacy with me because Rachel had friends in the city, friends who followed everyone, friends who posted everything. If I ever posted him, someone would have recognized him, and the whole thing would have collapsed. So he didn't hide me because he was private. He hid me because I was the loose end. I was the only person who could blow up his main life by existing too loudly. That's why he made me hide. That's why he said, be cool. That's why he never held my hand in certain places. It wasn't anxiety. It was strategy. The next morning, Rachel told him, not with screaming, not with theatrics. She texted one sentence. I talked to Sophie. And she waited. His response came fast. What? Why? Not, I'm sorry. Why? Like he was angry we compared reality. Then he called Rachel, then he called me, then he called both of us like he thought he could keep juggling. I didn't answer. Rachel did, and she recorded it. Later, she sent me the audio. His voice was calm at first. Babe, you're letting people get in your head. Then it shifted. Why would you talk to her? She's unstable. Unstable. There it was again. The same tactic. Label the woman as emotional so he never has to be accountable. Rachel said something I'll never forget. Camden, you're the one with two accounts. Silence. A full 2 seconds of silence. Then he did the most predictable thing on earth. He got angry. Not sad, not ashamed, angry. How dare you go through my privacy? Privacy? The man had 2 lives and was mad about privacy? Rachel ended the call with one sentence that felt like closure for both of us. You didn't protect us. You protected you. Then she hung up. And here's the part people always ask. Did you expose him? Did you post him? Did you ruin him? No, because real life isn't a movie, and I didn't need internet justice. I needed real peace. Rachel left. She called off the engagement, and Camden did what men like Camden do when they lose control. He tried to rewrite history. He messaged mutual friends. He posted a vague story about betrayal. He hinted he had been used. He was trying to get ahead of the narrative again. But something happened he couldn't control. Rachel didn't post a rant. She posted one photo. Just her hand without the ring. Caption, sometimes the red flag is the man holding the flag. That was it. No names, no drama. And the people who knew, knew. I blocked him everywhere, both accounts, and I sat in my apartment for 2 days feeling something I didn't expect. Not heartbreak, embarrassment. Not because I loved him, because I had defended him, I had explained him, I had shrunk myself to fit into his convenient story. I kept thinking about that moment when he asked me to be cool, how easily I agreed, how quickly I trained myself to accept less. And that's when the real lesson hit me. The most dangerous relationships don't start with cruelty. They start with small compromises that feel like love, until you look up and realize you're living as a secret. And once I saw it clearly, I promised myself something. I would never again let someone make me audition for basic respect. Because real love doesn't hide you. Real love doesn't manage you. Real love doesn't require you to disappear so someone else can stay comfortable. So let me ask you, if someone told you they wanted privacy, but every rule only made you smaller, would you believe their explanation? Or would you trust the pattern? Drop your verdict in the comments. And if this story hit you, if you've ever been someone's secret, someone's backup, someone's private relationship, stick around. Like, subscribe, and share this with someone who needs to hear it. Because here, one story always leads to another.